We are live from Nubian Human in the Anacostia Arts Center in historic Anacostia, Southeast Washington, D.C., and this is the Neighborish live cast. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Super Dave, a.k.a. Mr. Incredible.
Super.
And with me, as always, is our feminine energy.
Butter pecan.
Hey,
Butter
pecan.
She's a personal trainer and fitness guru, Miss Fruitfit herself,
Fruit
Patrice
Fit.
Jones.
Hey.
So glad to have you here.
Glad to be back.
Yeah, it's good to have you. And sitting on the end of the table, holding it down,
Hey.
is the DC's native son,
Hey.
the SC3 representative,
Hey.
Jason. What's up, brother?
Good morning, brother.
Hey, it's always good to see you, sir.
Indeed, likewise.
And we got a great show for you today because, as you can see, live via satellite,
Yeah.
this dude is arguably one of the best lyricists that DC has ever produced. He's definitely top 5 caliber. I think for DMV, not even DMV, for most artists, like he's in your top 5, right?
Where does he rank in my top 5, Dave?
That's a good question.
Oh, you don't remember?
Yeah, I remember you saying he was in there, but where is he at?
Where does he rank in my top 5? Where do you think?
Uh,
Where do you think you rank in my top 5, XO?
Probably number one.
Indeed,
number one.
my man.
Bang. Yeah, and then
He said that with so much humility.
right.
Why he know me and I know him, so
Yeah.
Probably number one. Yeah.
Probably, and my top 10 changes frequently, but he's definitely a staple in it, though. He's always there. His latest musical offering is a masterfully woven lyrical tapestry of anecdotes.
You
and
wrote that,
allegories.
Dave? You wrote them words? Oh, that's copy paste right there. Okay. Tapestry, nigga. What?
Hold on, stay with me.
Damn.
Now. Yeah, it is, that presents an accurate snapshot of the struggles, successes, emotions, and spirit of our local and global community. The project is called Culture Over Corporate, and the artist is none other than Uptown XO. What's up, brother?
What's up, brother? How y'all doing,
Man,
man?
it's so good to have you with us, man. I remember when Jay told me that you agreed to do it, I immediately flashed back to, it had to be like maybe 8 years ago now at Jamila's birthday party. We had a brief conversation, and I was like, man, you the one, bruh. Like after seeing you perform a few times at Pure, Bar None before it was Pure, and then Pure, I was like, this dude got it, man. I've always felt that way, so it's real cool to have you here, to talk to you. I'm excited to talk to you about your musical journey and what you got out right now. That's dope. And I just found out it's a whole second version of it that's out that I ain't even heard yet that I got to go pick up. So
check that out.
Definitely. So we're going to get into all of that. But first, it's a few things going on in the city, in the country, in the world that we need to talk about.
Oh, yeah. What's going on, Dave?
And we're going to talk about it right now. So as most of you already know, it was announced last week that none of the 3 officers who fired more than 20 bullets into Breonna Taylor's home on March 13th, 6 of those bullets, of course, struck Taylor and caused her death. None of those officers, will be charged with murder. And in a move that some say as insult to injury, Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron also announced that only one indictment will be handed down to Brett Hankinson. He was charged with 3 counts of wantonly endangering Taylor's neighbors because 3 of the bullets he fired went through a wall into a neighboring apartment. Hankinson was fired back in June. Now, the Attorney General Cameron said that the other officers, Jonathan Mattingly and Miles Cosgrove, were justified for firing for self-defense because Taylor's boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, admittedly fired what he said was a warning shot that police say struck Mattingly in the thigh. Now, we talked about this, a couple of times, and I think, Jay, you alluded to the fact that her boyfriend firing that shot was going to make it extremely difficult.
I told you they was going to use that. Yeah.
Now, when the announcement was made, I immediately heard Jay's voice saying, "This is the system doing exactly what it was designed to do."
Correct.
Is that the sentiment, Jay?
Well, I mean, and I'm glad we got XO on here today because we share a lot of the same ideology. But for the I guess the contradicting element in this story is that black people in America thought that there would be justice. And that is the underlying problem of our lack of progress and our lack of mobilization and unification, is that we are giving too much credit or hope. We're putting too much of our hope and emotion into this system, expecting, justice, expecting equality, expecting to be treated fairly, when there is absolutely no evidence for, that, us giving them our energy and our hope and our, our vibrations. And so it's unfortunate that these occurrences have to happen over and over and over and over again, and we still like, oh, justice for such and such. Really? Like, but I'm not knocking nobody, but there are certain demographic of the people on the planet who have an understanding of what this system of oppression is in this country and how it operates. So,
right.
Yeah.
Hey, XO, do me a favor. Hey, turn your can you turn your phone to the side? Let me see if the long version will change how our view is. Is it gonna?
Hell no.
Nah, it didn't.
that
Okay,
ain't
you can turn it back. Nah, I
Turn
thought it
back.
was gonna reorient. It's all good. It's all good. But yeah, so
We good, right? We good,
yeah,
right?
we good though. We good. I was, so another discussion that we've had that kind of plays into this discussion is, Jay, you also brought this up about the discussion about black women feeling protected by black men, and it's tough because in a situation like this, I don't know if there was anything more that her boyfriend could do. In that situation, and it leaves us with a sense of helplessness, a sense of,
But it don't have to be that way. But and speaking on that, I definitely want to hear from Patrice.
You want me to start now?
Well, I mean, I didn't know if Dave was finished.
Oh no, go ahead.
So is it? You want to know if
Well,
black women, if I feel?
well, I guess after
Question,
the Breonna case, the sentiment was, I kept seeing these posts and memes like, oh, the Malcolm X quote, the black woman is the least
most disrespected.
Yeah, and all of these things. Then all of these protect black women, protect black women, protect black women. Whereas though actually the boyfriend whose obligation it was, he hit off because he thought somebody was busting in their joint, and that's what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to hit off, and so and then in regards to like protecting her from the judgment of the, what's his nigga name, Daniel Cameron. So I guess the question
or from
to
his perspective, an intruder at that point.
Right, exactly. So dude was doing his job as her mate. Like that's what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to, what I'm saying, protect the home and protect her. But I guess some of the sentiment is that, oh, now that this has happened to Breonna, which doesn't make a lot of sense, that black women are feeling more of the weight of not feeling protected because this could happen to her and then there's no justice. But but the question is really to the government. But what do you got?
Two things. So first, I want to touch on. That just gave me some type of feeling. But the first thing I want to touch on is that nobody's really talking about this. The system is doing exactly what it's designed to do. But nobody is talking about the fact that they threw out the obtainment of the warrant out of the entire
and they
investigation.
Changing that whole
so
narrative now.
that was the biggest problem of course, the whole killing was the biggest problem, but the biggest problem from a legal standpoint was the obtainment of the no-knock warrant.
Yeah.
They took that out of the investigation. Once I watched a little bit of the attorney talking about the prosecutor talking. As soon as he said that the obtainment of the warrant was thrown out of the investigation, I turned it off because I already knew. I was like, oh, they not going after the right folk. They ain't gonna be nothing. So the second thing is, so you guys know how I feel about this whole. Every time I see some memes or somebody talk about the black woman in my timeline, I press on this feminist movement. We are so, the women are like, we say that we don't feel protected. It's just like if you go into a relationship and you take all of the baggage from all of your relationships and you go into this one relationship, your mind is going to shape exactly how you allow yourself to be treated and exactly how you move. Mm-hmm. And so if we allow the media to continue to downgrade our men, and tell us that we are not protected, and only put stories that speak to, us feeling like it's like that babysits our feelings, and we tend to go with that instead of knowing that, old school women know this. Like, the man sleeps near the door. The woman doesn't answer the door. The man answers the door. Like little things like that within our household. If we start there, then we'll know we are protected. We are, like, I don't feel like I'm not protected. I don't ever speak that. Yeah. I not even tell my son, who's 14, to take care of the young ladies around him. We got to change the narrative and stop allowing the media to make us feel a certain way. Like Jay said, that brother did exactly what he was supposed to do. Like, and I don't feel like he did anything wrong. He did exactly what he didn't go
on her on court because they offered him the bread too to say that she was doing drugs, and he was like, "Nah, just give me my time. I ain't gonna do that." So he held it down all the way around,
all
the
way through, all the way through and through. So I definitely I feel protected on a day to day. I feel protected with y'all sitting right here. Like, I don't ever. It's the way that we look at our men. I don't view our men in the light that the media tells us to view our men. First of all, I don't even pay attention to the media. That's problem number one. We go with what's mainstream with the black man, and it perpetuates. It's perpetuated through and through, and how we relate to them, and how we respond to them, and how we treat them in relationships.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Like you said, that. But like you said, that's kind of, it's manufactured, right? That whole idea of black men not supporting and not protecting black women. It's the imagery that's portrayed on a regular basis. So that's what you start to believe, even though it's not true. Basically, it's there.
Well, no, hold on. Like, to be real, and I want to hear XO's thoughts on this too. But I don't even want to say that it's completely not true per se, because there are some black men who haven't been trained. Right. There are, to understand what a woman is. Well, what a black woman is. And so there are men in our communities who don't know the value of a black woman and don't know their role in their obligation to protect black women. So it's not completely false, but a lot of us, men and women, have not been informed of who and what we are, so then that way we would naturally protect ourselves, men and women. But I'm curious to know your thoughts on the whole black women not feeling protected and or the Breonna case, XO.
The black woman not feeling protected thing is like, it's crazy to me because it's always been cases where we as a people have been vulnerable, right? Then we look at it, taking it a step back in time, where times was much more harsh in the way oppression was toward us. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And did the black woman back then not feel protected? You know what I'm saying? You had women like Harriet Tubman that just had God at the forefront of her mindset. And that be the guiding light. And I think that everybody should always stand on God. You know what I'm saying? Because when you look at the great men of the world that died, you know what I'm saying, for us, like Martin Luther King, like Malcolm X, they put God first. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. Because we can't. How can you be strong without putting God first? How can you be really 100% confident if you don't really have God behind you? You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think that people need to fall on God. You know what I'm saying? And He will be our strength. You know what I'm saying? Like He has been in the past. You know what I'm saying? When we got through those times, like I said, that were much more harsh than the times we're going through right now.
Yeah.
Indeed.
And Breonna Taylor situation, um, I think that was a messed up situation, man. But these things gonna keep happening to us in court and in law until we as a people build up the courage enough for real, to fight with God behind us. You know what I'm saying? Because when you look in the past, even in scripture, that's what the people had to do, man. You got to fight oppression. You know what I'm saying? It's like, for instance, if you have a kid that's going to school, your kid may be getting bullied at school. You may take your kid out of one school, put him into another school. The kid is still getting bullied.
Right.
So now you may come to a point where, well, what can I do? Everywhere I send my kid or everywhere we move, he's getting bullied. So it's a inner thing that has to be, an inner light that has to be to come out of the shadows
Right. Right.
of that doubt or that fear, whatever. Once we as a people can come out of that light, out of those shadows and step into the light, we can be strong and take down this bully that has been bullying the indigenous people around the planet, poor people around the planet, people of color around the planet. But we can't ask the bully for our lunch back or for our land back, for our gold, our natural resources back when they took it. We got to fight and actually take on the mentality of the bully, but use it in a godly way, not abuse it and not use that as the upper hand on people. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
Just like rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman, the brother that died from Black Panther.
Yeah.
They in the movie they had a secret metal in their city. That metal, I forgot what it was called.
Vibranium.
They wanted
Vibranium.
vibranium. They wanted to preserve it. They didn't want it out there like that because they know the mentality of the people. They would abuse it and come up with things that would maybe hurt people with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can y'all still hear me? Yeah. So they kept
Yeah.
it a secret, and then they hid it within their community. The only superhero that had the vibranium was Captain America in his shield.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And they
yeah,
stole that.
Right.
yeah,
Right.
right.
Can we talk about this? And
Uh-oh.
I would love to, yeah.
Uh-oh.
This me and my girlfriend was talking about this. She on a why doesn't anybody talk about the fact that all of these families at some point have taken a payout?
Yeah.
What the fuck? I mean, excuse my language,
Now
but
look.
Nah, you
that
good.
that
Now see,
burns me up.
Yeah.
now,
Somebody,
when,
if I thought somebody killed my son, I don't care how much money you give me. I don't understand that. And people will say, well, you don't know how I feel. No, I can tell you. No,
Yeah.
I don't understand that. And so, like, to your point, XO, if we aren't fighting, like and people say, no, we're fighting, with civility. I
What?
don't understand.
because they
What?
fighting.
That sounds like an
You see,
oxymoron.
see, somebody right
Don't
there,
go
somebody
together.
right,
I don't understand it.
What'd you say, XO?
somebody that know history, right, and know that scripture, right. You know what I'm saying? Like we already know, man. Look, Jesus got tested on the mountaintop
Yep.
with the devil. So that particular test is gonna come for everybody at some point in their life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's the time you gotta side with God, and then use God to really be your guide as far as decision making. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? And we're not gonna know what to do if we don't have that divine decision making to really back up what we're doing. And we can look at the great people for that. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. It was divine decision making that even made them be immortal, for the world to have to end for them to be irrelevant. You know what I'm saying? Based on what they stood for, based on what was already man up in the word, man, real life.
But
I mean, I gotta just talk like this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
at some point we have to
Well, I mean,
physically fight.
the thing is, it's like
Facts.
collectively we don't know how to fight. Like,
right,
'cause
how to organize.
the only way you learn how to fight is within your own culture. And so, we, from being small children, we buy into the indoctrination of this culture that isn't ours. As soon as we come out the womb, they give us their vaccines, right?
Yeah.
Then they give us their GMO foods that start going into our body and start working. You know what I'm saying? So the vaccine's working in our body. Then the GMO food starts working in your body. Then you get sent to school, and then the mind science of the enemy starts working into your body. And so by the time you become at the age where you recognize that things are off, which is about 13 or 14 years old, you've already been scientifically preconditioned to be a robot of American culture. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if we not taking our own initiatives from pre-birth and studying, our history and what works for us, what would be best for us, not best for quote unquote the United States, but what foods should we be eating? Like, what information should we be giving to our children when they're 4, 5, 6 years old? What images should they see? What music should they be listening to? What color should they see in their household? And then because at some point every human being is going to get rebellious against society because it's a corrupt program. And typically that age from working with youth, it's around 13, 14 years old that youngins be like, yo, this shit wild. So, and we call it rebelling or acting out. But it's like, nah, they just know what the fuck's going on. They're their truest self. And so they like, yo, so they start bucking the system, which they should do, because the system is some shit, and this system is corrupt and evil and, manipulative and oppressive, and they start figuring that shit out, and then we get mad at them. But they are actually naturally, like what XO was saying, the God in them is rebelling against what they're seeing. Like, yo, this shit wild, like, fuck this shit, fuck this school, or fuck what my mother talk about, or fuck, because you know what I'm saying.
With that being said, I do think that it's the responsibility of the parent, and I'll let Patrice speak to this, just because you've had raising a teenage son. It's your responsibility, right, as a parent, to guide that fire.
But if the parent don't know, that's the point I was trying to make. That's the point I was alluding to.
Is it the responsibility of the parent to make sure that the kid passes the school? The parent can only drop the kid off at school when it comes to them tests and them assignments. It's on the child. You know what I'm saying? Because now we in a generation of me. I was just like, I had parents, but the way our lifestyle was, it was almost like I was an orphan a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I was getting evicted a lot of my life. My pops wasn't around. He moved out of the country when I was like 12 in the 6th grade. I ain't see him like that after that. You know what I'm saying? Mom's always had a full-time job and was always in school. I was a latchkey kid. I was going back and forth to school by myself.
Yeah, so
go ahead, Patrice.
This speaks to what I think we talked about last week when I was telling you guys that I started treating my son like a man when he was like 6, 7 years old. Like, XO, you referred to being a latchkey kid and all of those things, and the dad not being in the house and your mother working. That's where like the conversations come in with the children. And one thing we have to figure out as adults, if we don't know, we have to seek knowledge. If you don't have knowledge of self, at least try to seek knowledge of self. But the problem is, to Jay's point, we're so programmed that we lose the zest for knowledge. Like we even are against learning. Like we rebel against it because we've been taught all of these things that we think are of us, but essentially they are not. And we have to seek knowledge. We have to read. We have to, I tell my son about himself, and if he pushes back, like Jay said, my son started doing that when he was like 11 years old. He said, "Ma, I just do not like school." And we have to allow them to have that feeling. I told him, son, I didn't like it either. Right. And then I told him the story of when I was in 9th grade, I went to my religion teacher and was like, I don't want to go to confession and talk to this third party. I'm not feeling it. So you have to let them we have, as parents, have to allow them to awaken, and then we encourage that awakening with knowledge of self. But first, we have to have it ourselves, and therein lies the battle, because a lot of us don't even know where to begin to seek knowledge of self beyond enslavement.
Right, and that's kind of where I was going with it. The responsibility of the parent to guide that fire, to take that rebellion that they see and turn and mold it. Because the thing is, like you said, Jay, the kids at a certain age, when you start to get to that age of understanding and knowledge, you start to gain this bit of wisdom, these little pieces, but it's not all there. Like, you don't have the wherewithal of what to do with it, of where to take it, and so you start just throwing it everywhere, and that's why your parents catch it, your anybody trying to be an authority figure to you catches it. And like you said, the parents right now don't really understand like how to take that and harness it and say, no, this is your I think you called last week, you talked about the superpower, right? Was it you that said it? Or
I don't know,
but yeah,
that sounds like some shit I say.
Yeah, that fire is your superpower, but you have to know how to use it. It's like if nobody taught Superman how to use his powers, it'd be like you saying Brightburn.
Nah.
That movie. Anyway,
But
yeah,
you know what though? Ain't nobody
hold on. Who taught Superman?
He kept going back. He kept going back, and he went back to that chamber. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you talking about Superman?
Yeah.
But he basically taught himself though, didn't he?
Crossroads. You know what I'm saying? It was certain things he taught himself, but his pop still left enough information.
Oh, cause what's
behind
his
in
name?
the whole
Jar-El
chamber.
something.
Yeah, Jar-El, and
his name was Jar-El.
Yeah, it was between his father and his Earth.
Shout out to the Moors.
Okay, yeah.
That gave him
shout out to the Moors.
Yeah, right.
Right.
But yeah. So
that was a little they know what they talking about. And Superman, we the Supermen.
Exactly.
Exactly.
That was the point I was making last week.
Got like out the way, but like when it come to time to save the world, it's a lot of men out here that's want to be on the front line. That's gonna be the superheroes. That's gonna be more famous than Jay-Z. Jay-Z gonna be irrelevant.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That time coming. It's coming now. It's getting close.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then people that's keep living for materialism. So that be the main reason they can't go so hard, because they got too much material attachment.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When the essence of our soul is immaterial. You know what I'm saying? That's our forever state of being, our spirit. That's forever. We only human temporarily. So this should be looked at as a school, and the oppression is messed up. A lot of things going on, but it's not the totality of our life as a soul, which is forever. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
A lot of these things be tests. A lot of things be drama. You know what I'm saying? This life drama. That's where theater came from. But it be the drama to teach us a lesson and to get us and to put us on point. And we know what we need to do, but the leaders that we have, they just scared because, like I said, it's the material attachment and the fame and the ego and the attention.
So what we need to do, XO? What we need to do?
Man,
that's
I know,
right?
And hurry up and answer that shit.
I know exactly what we need to do. Y'all ready for this? Y'all ready for this?
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Man, the best thing people could do, man, is get closer to God. Because how can you be in a state where you're ready to die at any moment for your people if you're not ready to really meet the Creator who gave the strength to Moses? Well, Moses was the first one, like, man, let our people go, man. Look, let our people go, man. All right, look, well, we just gonna warn you then. And it was a fight, but it was a fight with some divinity behind it. It wasn't just us trying to like use the guns we got
right
against these people. Like, that's not gonna work. They're gonna mess us up bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we try to take that route and do it without God. That's why it ain't been working so far now. And we ain't got no leaders that's about God enough that can articulate to the hood enough for real. Not even Farrakhan.
Nope.
Not even him.
Nope.
They can't do it because man, the material attachment, like I said, the ego, man, and a person's own individual self-determination.
Yeah, and that's you
know,
mentioned
sometimes that can be a person go to worship.
Yeah, you mentioned Farrakhan, and that's a great segue into this interview, man. Because I heard you had that Farrakhan, that snippet of Farrakhan speech at the end of the first what was it, Culture Over Corporate, and about being a
Yeah,
man, right? And it led into that song about yeah,
that was Malcolm X. Actually, that was Malcolm.
that was Malcolm.
That was Malcolm right there.
Oh,
Get it
okay, yeah,
together, Dave.
yeah, my fault. Okay, yeah, Jay's gonna scold me after this
Man,
for not
that
knowing
was
the
terrible.
difference between
That
the
was
voices.
terrible.
My
I don't
fault.
know
That was
if I can
Malcolm,
go
man.
on.
Right, right. That was Brother Malcolm. Okay, okay.
And to
Yeah.
XO's point, since you brought up Brother Malcolm, he was like, you got to be willing to pay the price for freedom. And then they asked him, they was like, well, what is the price, Malcolm? You know the answer to that, XO?
Death.
Indeed.
Death.
So
Maybe
Malcolm
death,
knew what it
but
was. Like Malcolm knew what it was. And then also the other point too, I remember in the Haitian Revolution, when the French went to go get backup, I think they went and got Britain and somebody else to come back them up. And then they was like, when they came over to Haiti, after Haiti whooped them like the first time, they was like, yo, these Bamas they not scared to die. And that's what scared the British and the
Right,
French
and it's
army,
like,
because
why
like the
aren't
Haitians
they-
was
why
like, yo,
aren't they scared
we
to
don't,
die?
because they did so much prayer that death didn't mean that they were leaving.
Right, right.
Death just meant that, you know what I'm saying, they would be carrying on in a different form. And so like the British and French army didn't know how to take that. They was like, oh, they're not scared to die.
Yeah.
But as though they just perceived death a different way. They did, like XO was saying, it wasn't the end all be all. It wasn't the totality of their existence. They was like, yo, we're not going to live in this dimension in this form, in this way. So it's like we about to put it all on the line to change that shit over. And that's why they won. They wasn't holding on to the material.
That whole concept came from Egypt, man, where Moses went to learn that, where Jesus went to learn that, the monotheistic concept. That's where that whole ideology, or that's where that comes from. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The hereafter in Islam. You know what I'm saying? I'm Muslim. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's a lot of detail in the hereafter. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of emphasis on, oh, this is just temporary. This is a test. None of this ain't even real, for real, for real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a lot of emphasis on that. So in the midst of everything going on, a lot of people be talking about like the stuff that's going on. Always remind people, guess what? Life is still good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In the midst of all that, you can find, look how we found joy, man, even on the plantations, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right. Yeah, and I wanted to talk to you about that sentiment that seems to be heavy in your music. You talk about a lot of the social issues that's going on today, and a lot of the things that's happening, and your point of view. And like I said, it's kind of like a snapshot of like the spirit of how people feel. And first of all, I appreciate you for that, for providing that kind of voice. But I wanted to ask you, how important do you think, or do you think it's important for artists, to speak on social issues in their art and kind of give a voice to, people who may not have that voice?
It is important, man, because that's what motivated me to be the type of artist that I am today, man. Like DMX, Tupac, Bob Marley, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Michael Jackson, definitely, you know what I'm saying? Like even young Michael Jackson would have political records on his joints. That's what opened up my eyes early, man. They don't care about us, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I was a kid, you know what I'm saying? Like, grew up in the 80s. Michael Jackson was my number one artist, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, me too.
And he was early on that, you know what I'm saying? So that's how some of the knowledge is passed down. The alternative information that's not going to be in school, because school is mainly going to build a person up to have the fundamentals of understanding. Based on the fundamentals of understanding, now you can build. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now you can learn whatever you want with mathematics, and having an understanding of mathematics. Now you can go in a certain direction. Having an understanding of the language, now you can go in a certain direction. History, a certain direction. science, you can go in a certain direction. So that's why school is important. You know what I'm saying? So a person can have the fundamentals to be able to do what they want to do for themselves. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like I always tell people, like in school, we knew the worst students, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I was job popular in school. I got evicted a lot, went to a lot of schools, went to
Mm.
DC schools, went to Maryland schools. So it's like everywhere I went, I had to make a new impression.
Right.
I had to start all over again. You know what I'm saying? We got evicted, I had to start my wardrobe all over again. You feel what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So, I had to have a lot of pizzazz, man. Everywhere I went, new neighborhood. I gotta have a new impression around this new neighborhood I'm living in now. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that me young, like I said, having a roam in the hallway mentality, going through school, not really considering the full extent of my future. That's how I got lost in the sauce. But until I started listening to rappers like Tupac, that made me like want to learn on my own and study on my own and pick up a book on my own. So I think it's important for artists to really like not just have the cookie cutter subject matter. So I'm gonna talk about ladies. I'm talking about my hood where I grew up, and I'm talking about this liquor that I'm promoting. We'll do about that's
Yeah.
the cookie
Yeah.
cutter.
Yeah.
It's like,
Make.
nah, we gotta get more creative than that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And have a
Yeah.
wide variety of subject matter. Even though Tupac was talking about thugging it out and outlaws, and he still had subject matter, a wide variety of subject matter. I
Right.
think that's
Right.
what the older generation wants out of the youth. You know what I'm saying? We appreciate the style, but it's like the subject matter it's like, come on, we can do better than that. You know what I'm saying? That's why I
Right. Right.
respect the young rapper Lil Baby. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You know Lil
Yeah.
Baby song, the new Jones?
Yeah. 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 I was
Yeah,
just gonna
that,
ask
that
you
was
who
the
you
first
listen
one.
to, who you like
I
right now.
listen to everybody, man.
Right.
Mainly my crew,
Okay.
Elaine Bilal, Dulce Capone, Gordo Brega, JG Riff, Sniper B, uh, I Am Northeast. I listen to all the new stuff that come out because I want to hear the energy. I want to hear where we at with it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. 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 And so how does the younger style? Because like you said, it does seem that they one of the things that they seem to be lacking is that versatility, right? It's like everybody's kind of on the same. You can hear maybe 10 songs on the radio, and they kind of sound, very similar, if not almost the same. So I mean,
Yeah.
how does that affect how you approach your music and how you approach, like the album per se?
It really doesn't. I just do me, man. I don't think about nobody else. I just do me. You know what I'm saying? And when I hear the music really speaks to me a lot. So I really go off that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
And as I zone out, the music itself be telling me what to say sometimes.
Stand. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't even be thinking about nobody else. You know what I mean? But I got my influences from like Jay-Z, DMX. I got influences from the Locks and everybody I listen to.
Right.
So my my lyrical sword, you know, it came from studying these guys, but I made my own. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So, how did you like the title "Culture Over Corporate"? Is pretty self-explanatory of what it is, but how did you land on that as the title for this collection of music that you put out?
I chose culture over corporate because I had uh, 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 I was seeing that everybody had these brands that they was promoting. You know what I'm saying? People had brands that was about weed and brands that was about liquor, and I just wanted a brand that was gonna be real beneficial to our community. You know what I'm saying? Instead of individualism come up type of thing. You know what I'm saying? This brand is for everybody to come up, financially and mentally. You know what I'm saying? So culture over corporate is like me. I'm in all local clothing. I'm gonna go out my way and even inconvenience myself to shop and empower my own community instead of unconsciously empower our oppressors. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Right.
By weighing things that they not going. You know what I'm saying? Coming to the hood ever. You
Right.
know.
Right.
So what's the quote? Somebody said for every Gucci buy 3 FUBU or some shit like that. I think
Yeah.
Jay-Z said or something like that. I've been on that, you know what I'm saying? I got on Gucci shades right now, but I got on All Popular, you know what I'm saying? That's like a new store. My man Gordo Black, I got us on Georgia Avenue right now. It's like
Okay.
I'm always gonna be promoting um our people, our culture, you know what I'm saying? And that use with that mentality, that's how we're gonna build each other up. You know what I'm saying? If you cook, I should be
Definitely.
buying food from you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you make clothes, I should be buying your clothes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, Jay Son got on my shirt, my sweater right there.
XO,
Appreciate that
baby.
sweater. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's about. That's how we can unconsciously empower each other. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. Definitely.
You
Speaking of
know?
that shirt, man, that's one of the dopest logos I've seen in a while. You've had that for a minute. Who
Thank
who
you.
who did that? Did you make the logo? Or?
I did a DJ Mastermind. He
Okay.
worked he's like he worked with a young dude from Southeast named Uncle John.
Uh huh.
He's his DJ actually, but me and him we go way back when I was running around with Wale back then. He was a part of that crew.
Okay.
So when I was on the come up, I was like, man, design my logo because he was on this visual art type stuff and doing Wale covers.
Mhm.
And I was like, man, do my jump. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I just kept that same logo throughout the years because I wanted that to be a consistent thing. You know what I'm saying? Over time.
Yeah.
But like so if anybody had all my stuff, it would look like a crazy collection from like my albums to my clothes to everything. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. That's that branding, man. That's important.
Right. Yeah.
So you touched on the your time when you was rocking with Wale real heavy, and I read somewhere
Yeah.
that you guys started out working at DTLR together.
Yeah,
Is
that's
that
how I
where you
met him.
met him?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's how I met him. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
and around that time, you him like what Kenny Burns, is that around the same time you met him too?
I ain't know Kenny Burns at that time, but Kenny Burns was messing with Wale at that time.
Right, right,
I was running around Wale, being this hype man at certain shows and stuff like that, and just giving that support. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even had no album out. You know what I'm saying? But
right,
one day,
right.
um, I'm promoting his mixtape, and you know, I like that vibe anyway because it reminded me of just being on the block, you know, on the strip. You know what I'm saying? The
Right, right,
mall
right,
popping and everybody coming through the store, and I can sell something. You know what I'm saying?
right, right,
But
right,
now it's music though, and I'm putting my man on, but it still give me that feel. You know what I'm saying?
right.
So I was good at that at promoting. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I'm rapping this dude up. He told me he worked with Dipset and Duke the God and Woody Wop. And he was living up Rittenhouse on Georgia Rittenhouse,
Mm.
and his name is Charles Keys. He was like, man, you
Oh,
selling
that's
it
my man,
Wale?
Chuck.
What you do?
That's
Yeah.
my
He
man.
said, yeah. He said, you selling Wale? What you do? He said, man, I rap too. And I spit a verse for him right there. He was like, man, look, man, I'm trying to rock with you, man. Holla at me, man.
Hey, Chuck, that nigga too.
And he helped me put together my first project. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Which is
I,
called the Takeover.
I'm
You know what
taking
I'm
over
saying?
the interview now,
Yeah.
XO.
Yeah. Go
All
ahead,
right.
Jay.
You ready for the real shit?
Oh,
Yes.
so what you saying?
Yeah.
All right, so
This is the last episode of Neighborish. Nah. But go ahead.
all right, so as a student of DC hip hop in particular,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I guess Wale is probably the representation of globally. Like if people who don't even know what hip hop is, they be like, you say DC rap,
That's where I was going. I know
they gonna say Wale, right? So
Yeah.
but obviously there's been a conversation in the underground, in the hoods, that Wale ain't from DC, right?
Yeah.
So
He's not.
exactly, and so
But I would always tell dudes that don't matter, man. Cause it's like this though, dog. It's like when I was in the streets, I understood that like to get to a certain level or whatever, Woody Wop, you gotta like move up. Or when you start getting more product of Woody Wop, you may have to like go outside of your neighborhood to even move the new product you have access to, or the new load you got now. So that's where going in the other neighborhoods, Woody Wop worked out at. And it's like the same thing but rap. Like to take over, you gotta go in the
nah,
other
nope.
neighborhoods.
Let me
You know what
stop
I'm
you
saying?
now because I disagree. Because you
He
said
disagreed.
I heard
you said
it.
it don't matter. Now the reason you
from
are
from a sales standpoint, as far
not,
as
yeah, okay, but then you're
many
going back
people
into materialism
product
and all of that thing, right?
product.
So
Yeah.
the reason
Representation though.
the reason you are my favorite rapper over
Yeah.
Tupac, over Scarface, over Three Stacks, over Lauryn Hill is because I hear a voice that is from my community. I cannot
Yes.
completely relate to Face. Even though Face is an honorary DC rapper, I haven't walked to the corner store in Houston. I haven't been in the shootout
Right.
on the block in Houston. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, Tupac's, what their
Right.
grape juice tastes like in East
Right.
Marin. You know what I'm saying? So when I listen,
Yeah.
my favorite hip hop album ever is Monumental
Come on.
because
Thank
it
you, bro.
paints a picture of everything that I know and I'm familiar with. I can't get that from no Jay-Z album. I can't get that from no Nas album. I can only see and hear the way I speak, the colors that I see, the juices that I drink, the lead that's in our water. You know what I'm saying?
And that mentality right there is culture over corporate. Right
But that's
there. You
what
know
I'm
what I'm
saying, because you saying like it don't matter,
I
like it
like
don't,
that.
because I was talking to Big Sean, right, and I
Yeah.
was telling him, 'cause, we big fans of Wale, and I was breaking, he from
Yeah.
Detroit, and I was breaking it down to him. I was like, yeah, Wale's dope. I'm not hating on him at all. Like he's a dope ass MC,
He ain't from the city. He
right?
ain't
But
the
I was
voice
like,
of the
he's
people.
not from DC. And they ain't really understand what I was talking about. I was like, nah, that's why he kind of coined the term DMV to kind of
Right.
incorporate. But I understand what you
I,
saying.
I
It
was
make
saying
more
it was
sense.
okay because it was at the beginning, and it was like, you know what? I was that close to know that okay, this dude is gonna be the dude to
Right.
break the
Yeah,
door down for
yeah.
the rest of us. You know what I'm saying? So it's like with the Fat Trail, uh, 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 I linked that situation up with Wale with Fat Trail, and for
Mm.
Wale and for Fat Trail to get with Rick Ross. That was
Right.
at my open mic, Pure Lounge, which I took over, which used to be Bar None.
Right,
You know what
right,
I'm
yeah.
saying? So, we got to help each other out in that way. That's culture over corporate too. You know what I'm saying? Wale put me on in a sense the way as though when I met Judah, um, Wale, I was riding with him and went to the studio with Judah, the producer. I don't know if you know him.
Yeah.
Um,
Y'all
then
did the
then
little
me and him.
EP, the EP joint.
Exactly. I,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I wouldn't have met him if it wasn't for Wale. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
that's why I
then,
always give Wale his props, but it's
yeah.
just like
So
around the
then,
world, because people meet me, they be like, oh, Wale DC. And I be like,
yeah.
pause. I was like,
Then
pause.
Judah,
I was like,
then
pause.
Judah hooked me up.
You know what I'm saying?
Then
It's not
Judah hooked me up.
necessarily DC. And there's, as you know, because,
Right.
you went to school,
I got
PG,
the record.
DC.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There is a difference. There is a difference.
Exactly.
And I'm just saying
And
for
then,
hip hop, there is no DC dude that represents
yeah,
our culture.
XO, what you talking
I
yeah.
about?
know,
Other
and
than
that
me,
was my
other than me,
that's why I was like, you ready for the real nigga interview? All right.
Right.
So
yeah, other than me, yeah.
do you feel that you are the best representation of DC hip hop? Not DMV.
I do. Nah, DC hip hop, yeah, I do. Yeah,
All right, that's all I
yeah,
got. I'm
I
done,
do.
Dave.
Yeah,
I
that's
do.
that's
That's
the
all
real
I
interview. 'Cause I was
I
about to say,
do.
well, man, that's all.
I
But
am.
yeah, so he said his favorite was Monumental. Like after seeing you freestyling and stuff, the first album of yours that I got was 1110. That's still my favorite. Like to this day.
Both of them was that like I said, that's with Kenny Burns, both of them projects. And Judah took me down to the harbor when they first opened that up,
Mm-hmm.
and to the Blind Wino Outlaw joint. That's where I met Kenny Burns. And as I was
Okay.
like coming up in the city and buzzing and working with so many people and giving a good impression on so many people, I was buzzing. That's why I met AB the Pro, Aleem Bilal.
Okay.
That's like my brother now. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I don't
Right.
talk to Wale. I don't talk to Judah every day. I don't talk to Kenny Burns, but through all that, I got a brother. You know what I'm saying? He
Yeah.
moved right downstairs. He right downstairs from me now.
Y'all
He got a
whole
whole nother
building is
album
lit,
coming out.
bro.
Yeah. So it's like if it wasn't for all of that snowball effect. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
It wouldn't be no Monumental in 1110. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he didn't lead me right to Kenny Burns, but it's like I guess my name just kept coming up enough. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
I got a question.
But yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Can I ask? You look like you about to say
No, you
something.
can't ask. I'm
You
just
look like
saying.
you
Go
about
ahead,
to say
man. Of course, you
something.
can ask a question.
So, can you speak to the representation of our queens in hip hop and rap and
I don't like it. I don't like it. But because it's like most of what we see. Shout out to artists like Rhapsody. Shout out to artists like Mamona Yusuf. Shout out to artists like Rock. You know what I'm saying? Those are my three favorite female
Mine
artists
too. You
right
just
now.
named my
You
top.
know what
Well,
I'm
I
saying?
got L Boogie at the top, but she just retired.
Oh yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
wilding
yeah,
out,
yeah, yeah.
showing up late.
But like
can you
artists
name
like
them
since
one more
artists like
time?
that
Can
is
you
not at
name
the
them one more
forefront.
time for me?
That was Rock. That
Mhm.
was Mamona Yusuf and
Mhm.
Rhapsody
Okay.
from down North Carolina. Yep. And Rock from Southeast. Mamona Yusuf is from like Baltimore, DC, or
Mhm.
DMV, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Or
right,
wherever.
right.
Jay about to come
You
for
know
you.
what I'm saying? She from
She
over there.
gets a pass.
She does.
Yeah, yeah, nah. But when you got the little WAP movement going on and the vulgarity um, uh, and the inconsideration of how offensive the content is, you got to be considerate as an artist, man. And it's like the corporations is pushing an inconsiderate mentality. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Mhm.
And even when I got with Kenny Burns and I started like going in a certain direction, content wise, right?
Mhm.
I had to pull it back. You know what I'm saying? Even like with that on the 110 jump, right? When I with Raheem, I did the Take Home record.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And that song for real, I'm disrespecting like women for real. I'm talking about them in a vulgar way. You know, right now with the mind state I'm in right now, I would never make a song like that about my queens. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Mm.
Mhm.
Thank
Or
you.
even shed light on wanting a woman that's not of the highest quality. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Mhm.
Or
yeah,
like, or like the best. You know what I'm saying? So it's
yeah.
like the music is affecting our youth in a way as though they feel as though they need to do what they see. You know what I'm saying? So the
Right.
Mhm.
corporations who own these labels, you know what I'm saying? Cardi
Mhm.
B and what's the other chick name that just got shot?
Oh, Megan the Stallion.
They know Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, man. Is going to perpetuate the ratchetness and these the women that's gonna sell lace fronts, they're gonna sell weaves, they're gonna make
Mhm.
the doctors keep being in business with the ass shots and the titties and all that, and they gonna stay in business. And the Chinese lady who owned the beauty supply store, this is how they stay in business. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Mhm.
So, but that doesn't really help us. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
Right. It's
You know
all
what I mean?
about
So it's like,
money.
hey, it's all about the money. Like I
Less
said,
about
everybody gonna come to
representation.
that crossroad. When God gave you something, and the devil gonna come and test you to get you to use what God gave you to use for him and for your people.
Right.
He gonna get you to use it for him, and that's what so many of us are falling a victim to. You know what I'm saying? Because we all got gifts.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
know, but the underground is meant for the people like me. Like they be like, damn, you should have been on, bro. When you up?
Yeah.
Like, nah, I'm good, bro. I'm supposed to be right here on the
Yes.
ground level at the bottom. You know what I'm saying? Like where I
Mhm.
belong. I don't belong up there with them.
Right.
I
Right.
Mhm.
don't belong up there with Wale and them up there with them because it's a certain purity I gotta have that, and that purity I obtain by staying on the ground level, the
Mm.
underground. You know what I'm saying?
Have you always felt like
Real
that
life.
though? Have you gone through a period where you was like, yo, I
Nah,
should be here.
Exactly. That's fine.
nah. But studying Islam got me to realize that, like I said, like this is temporary. This is school. This is a test. It's not even real. This is an illusion. You know what I'm saying?
Mm. Mhm.
Mhm.
Real
Yeah.
loud. Like
Indeed.
So.
how significant were like the little kiddie relationships we was in the high school. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Compared to the work we was really supposed to be doing and the assignments and the level of scholarship that we supposed to be able to attain to get to the next level out of school. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
That's
But
what we
we was
supposed to be
focused
doing
on
here.
yeah
Yeah,
that
that's what we supposed to be
relationship.
doing here in the hereafter, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It ain't about the glam and glitz, man. Even though that's a temptation here for the believers. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
It's a
right.
temptation. Everybody want that. You know what I mean?
How much
Yeah.
time we got, Dave? What's the time?
We can go. It's 12:11 right now. But
All
we
right.
got time. Yeah. What you
So
got?
XO,
Yeah.
what has given you more artistic, I guess, I'm trying to say proud, but just like a smart word for it.
Artistic what?
Like he's proud of. Like, what are you most proud of? Now, are you more proud of your accomplishments as a solo rapper or being in the legendary Diamond District?
Yeah.
Both. But I like the solo, I guess better because that Diamond District is Odyssey. That was his idea. That was on him. A lot of the organization and the um, the the vision for it, um, the map for it to go. That was Odyssey. You know what I'm saying? I don't got
Okay.
no control over that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Right.
So it was honored. You know what I mean? I'm honored to be a part of that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
man, you know what I'm saying?
Did that take your
I learned
reach?
so much.
Did that extend the brand of XO?
It did.
Okay.
It did because I had that going on at the same time as the Kenny Burns situation. You know what I'm saying? So like both of those going on at the same time was like, whoa, I was busy as a motherfucker. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
And
Yeah.
that's a
I
Good
good
stayed
thing.
thing
out
for
That's
of
a
an
good
town.
artist.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was out of town overseas and shit. Everybody was like, damn, when you gonna be in town? Like I would get calls, they would be like, you in town first. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right,
Right.
right. Trying to find out where you were. So yeah,
Yeah.
that group, Diamond District was you, Odyssey, and YU, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And so is that still a thing? I noticed YU was on
Uh,
Culture Over Corporate.
yeah, it is still a thing. We got an album coming out soon.
That's dope.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, for
Not
real?
as
Y'all got an
Diamond
album coming
District,
out?
not as Diamond District, but
Oh, you and
Odyssey
YU.
YU is producing an album for me. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so that's so that's so that's gonna be with the Diamond District fans that's waiting for Diamond District. Y'all can still get those elements. You know what I'm saying?
Man, we
Right.
gotta
Right.
get
You know.
Odyssey back on board, man. He got too big.
I mean, hey man.
That's a whole
You
nother
know.
conversation, but
Right. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But you know what though? We talked about just like our feelings and all that, and like how we on our last song when he was in town. Um,
okay,
about
that's what's
certain
up.
stuff and all that. So it's like we just got, and that was in the midst of him giving me the beats to, because his part of the album is already done. I just gotta knock out YU side. You know what I'm saying?
okay.
Uh, but it's all like 2021 type stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm way far ahead with this.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. And you kind of got to stay a couple steps ahead, right, to keep stuff
Yeah,
moving.
definitely.
Hold
Yeah.
on, Dave. I
Yeah.
got some more questions. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead. Go
All
ahead.
right.
Okay.
So I got to well, I don't know if people know this, but I think I have almost every one of your projects. And
Okay.
not only that, I think I've gotten every project personally from you, if I'm not mistaken. So I
Thank
guess
you,
the
bro.
next question
Appreciate
is
it.
I got the Culture Over Corporate one, right? Produced by
Yeah. You, Dave.
Drew Dave, right? Now I
Hmm.
noticed the part two is produced by Kev Brown. And I
Yeah.
know a couple years back, Kev was going through some shit in regards
Yeah.
to,
Yeah.
his artistic appreciation. And
A lot of producers go through that. You know what
I
I'm
know,
saying?
I
I
know.
guess a lot of artists go through that way as though they feel as though um they not appreciated or nobody's hearing them and all that.
Right.
And a lot of that strength with me, like I said, Islam and the reason I'm here for real, um, that gave me strength. You know what I'm saying? Knowing that for real, when I leave here, the music that I did here really would be irrelevant as far as like where I'm going in the next life.
Mm,
It's not gonna mean nothing. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Only thing I can really take with me is my good deeds and my bad deeds. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? And the
yeah,
people that
mm,
and the people the spiritual residual income that I would get when I help produce good people, and they help producing good people long after I'm gone.
Yeah.
So I'm still benefiting in the hereafter. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing that's really gonna matter.
Hey, that's I was getting ready to say. Don't forget part of it. That's so what you just said is your legacy.
Yeah.
You leaving that,
Exactly. Yeah.
and that has no money value. That's beyond
Yeah,
money.
yeah,
So,
man, it is.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
the last part of that question was, in working with Kev, does he seem to have a renewed sense of purpose in working with him
Um,
recently on this project?
I would say, yeah, yeah, and it went up and down because after well, I think what you're talking about, we recorded the album right before that happened.
Oh,
You
for
know what I'm
real?
saying? Yeah, so this is way back then.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
been
yeah.
had this joint done. You know what I'm saying? So I
That's
got
what's up.
joints lined up like that, like so. This joint been in the cut for a minute. So
Yeah, I
when
got a
we
couple
recorded the
joints like
album,
that too.
yeah, when we recorded that joint, he had just went through that, and I think something that went through with his grandmother, if I'm not mistaken. And sometimes for artists, it can be like a stability thing, to where as though um, they want to do certain things, but of course, based on their career and where they may be at. Not saying him individually, but just in general, based on where they at, they may not be able to do what they want to financially for
Mm-hmm.
someone else. You know what I'm saying? That
Yeah.
can cause anxiety. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, then we got our coping mechanisms for the anxiety that we get. You know what I'm saying? Which is why, man, like I said, man, I got God behind me, man. You know what I'm saying? Because,
Okay.
like, without that, man, you'll go crazy out here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've seen the artists go left with it. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Like,
Yeah.
so, when I started rapping, it wasn't for nobody to hear it. It was
Mm.
just for me. You know what I'm saying? So I keep that in mind a lot, too, though. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
Now that people was hearing it, and they acknowledging me like, oh man, what's up, man, you dope, woody wop. I don't even try to let that go to my head either. Or, you know what I mean?
Right.
But I like it, but it's like, you know what I'm
Still
saying?
stay centered. Yeah.
It's so
It's
important.
something that I created. So I try to
Yeah.
stay out of what I created. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's so important,
Mhm.
and that's in all things. And what Jay do and what I do, what you do, Day. When you never forget why you do what you do,
Yeah.
Yeah,
because when the fame comes and the popularity comes, you can lose yourself in things that are
yeah,
exterior to yourself.
Yeah.
But you always
yeah.
have to remember your why, and your why is inside.
Yeah.
Okay, that's dope.
Facts. And it's easy to get lost in that, man. And some old man, when I
Definitely.
was with Kenny Burns, you know, man, we was with everybody, man. It wasn't nobody in the industry we wasn't
I
with.
know I
Like
seen you with the pic with Nip.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nipsey, man, I'm running around with everybody, man. Then the network I got from being with Odyssey with Pete Rosenberg, between Pete Rosenberg and Kenny Burns, and
Right.
I was everywhere. I was around the world with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad, Dave.
Linking
I
with
got two more
everybody. With
questions. I got
Mob
two more
Deep.
Nah, you
questions,
good.
XO.
Yeah.
You good. Good.
Okay.
What's your
Yeah.
biggest song?
My biggest song
Yep.
probably be Good Vibes. I would say
Mm.
on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Or
Okay.
Good Vibes for real niggas only. A lot of people like for real niggas only.
Yeah.
My
Good
biggest
I
song
vibes.
thought
ain't even
that was
came
it.
out yet.
I thought for real niggas only was, but that's why I asked you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my biggest song ain't came out yet. Nobody's heard it yet.
Indeed.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
All right, this is my
It's
last
coming out.
question. Then
It's coming
I'm
out
gonna
probably
let
next
Dave
year.
do his notes and shit.
Okay.
Have you ever had a Crown Vic?
Um. I had a Chevy
No, nigga. But
Caprice.
that's a no.
Chevy Caprice though,
That don't
they
And
count.
that's a no.
interchangeable. They not
Nah,
No, I
interchangeable.
nope.
never had a
Why
Crown Vic. You
They
aren't
know
they
what I'm saying? I had a
similar.
interchangeable,
Chevy
XO?
Caprice.
Tell them.
Huh?
They're not
I had the
interchangeable.
bubble jump,
But still,
but they looked at like I
they
had a
don't know.
bubble.
Why would I
So
ask you if you have a Crown Vic?
because the Crown Vic, AB had the Crown Vic. That's why he
Oh,
did the
okay,
hook like
okay.
that.
All right, all right.
Yeah.
This is Crown Vic music.
Yeah.
I had the Chevy jump. You know what I'm
Look,
saying?
cause
The fake
I
Impala.
was about to do the treatment for the video with me, you, and ML. And so
Yeah.
I was recruiting Bammers, but I was gonna get like 30 Crown Vics. just to be part.
That would have worked too, though.
Yeah. We
Crown
still
Vic.
probably gonna do it. My budget ain't right, but
Post COVID-19.
yeah, post COVID, we gonna have a caravan of Crown Vics.
It's like a club that they got. I think on Maryland, like a little Crown Vic club, a car club, a bunch of guys got Crown
because
Vics.
they got a box Chevy joint too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do have a quick. It's gonna be quick.
We taking over your interview,
right.
Dave.
No, I'm a very archaic analog girl, and I don't really know like about where to find music and all. I just found out Jay has songs on iTunes. Where can people? I know Dave probably gonna ask you this, but where can I like find your music? Because it's hard to find music that's not mainstream if you don't know where to look for it.
Right.
Well, when I say mainstream, like you know what I mean, like
I know what you're talking about.
you know what I mean? Okay, all right.
Yeah, if it's like one thing we got. I'm gonna answer your question, right? But one thing we gotta teach the kids is like for that real knowledge. It's like for that real music that we want. It's almost like we gotta inconvenience ourselves, or we gotta like go out our way to get it.
Right, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Anything that come too easy, usually it's like it's not the best of quality.
Oh, absolutely. That's why I'm
easy.
asking you.
Yeah. So that's down for information and all that. This for the people watching. You know what I'm saying? To take on that mentality of, man, dig through the crates. You know what I'm saying? For that, for the jewels. You know what I'm saying? And you'll find it. But like, for me, UptownXO.com. Then I got cultureovercorporate.com. That's my latest like website, cultureovercorporate.com. And my stuff is on YouTube, iTunes, Tidal, Spotify, Google Play. It's on all digital platforms. You just type my name in Uptown XO, and I got a Bandcamp too, Uptown XO 202.bandcamp.com. That got all my old stuff on it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm on Spotify as well. But you can go to websites like HipHopDX, 2DopeBoys.com to find the underground artists. You know what I'm saying? Because how I got hip was even being around Wale. It was on a website called hiphopunderground.com back in the day. And that was a website that was like promoting him a lot. And it was like a blog joint. I was like, what is a blog? You know what I'm saying? Back then, right. 2007, 2008. You know what I'm saying? They was the ones that told me, look, get you a MySpace, bro. Get you a Facebook, bro. I'm like, what's that? You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
So they was the ones that hit me, Wale and Sneaker Man Dan. They was the ones that hit me to that. You know what I'm saying? So, hold on. What was your question again? I'm tripping.
No, you actually hit all of you. I put your website up here. You said UptownXO.com.
Oh,
you said Spotify. You said Bandcamp.
Right. Yeah. So I just got a couple more. I just got a couple more for you.
You free now, Dave. Go ahead.
Yeah,
do your shit, Dave.
Yeah. I mean, now that it's almost time to wrap up. But yeah. Just going back, you spoke about that whole time when you was doing 1110. My favorite song on there, and probably the reason it's my favorite album is the joint you did with Tabby, the We Are the Ones, and just because not only
produced by Odyssey, man. Produced by Odyssey,
right. And not only was like your verses was like I put your first and second verse on that joint up against any verse in hip hop right now, but also Tab is a dope artist, but I feel like your ability kind of elevated, like he kind of pushed it to a certain level.
Yeah, Tabby got loose on that joint.
Let me tell you a backstory about that joint, right?
Yeah,
now,
definitely.
Y'all know Garvey the Chosen One?
Yeah.
So Garvey the Chosen One did a diss record on Tabby and Wale back in the day, right?
Okay.
I never knew that.
And that verse that Tabby put out was actually a rebuttal dissing Garvey on my jump, right?
Oh wow!
I didn't even know that. It was
you ain't know
though, Jay-Z shit.
Right.
So one of my mans pointed out to Garvey, you know what I'm saying? And I'm uptown, I'm around 3500, and I would see Garvey sometimes on 14th Street.
Right.
So Garvey called me like, X, how you gonna let Tabby diss me on that jump, man? And you get on the right. I'm like, I ain't know that nigga dissed you, bruh.
Right.
He ain't say your name or none of that. And bro, like you dissed him first anyway, so that's his rebuttal. But
Right.
call him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
Right. Yeah.
I gotta go back and
you
listen
know
to
what
this
I
verse
mean?
now.
Right. Yeah.
Go
Yeah.
back and listen to him. You know what I'm saying? But so that was a little controversy
That's why
right there.
Tabby
But he
was
lived
getting
out
loose
there.
on that joint.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why he was
Yeah.
like, you conveniently apologize, and now they want to hang. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So he was like, oh, because he dissed him. Then he came back and apologized, like, my bad, man. We squashed that shit with you, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that's always like I still play that joint to this day. Whenever I put together a mix, like if I'm going on a long drive or something, that's always on there. Like them, like you murdered them
I gotta
verses
put
on it.
that joint back out, matter of fact. Matter of fact, I'm putting that joint back out. Yeah.
Okay, the whole joint or just that song?
Maybe the whole joint, but I want maybe the whole 110 joint because it's not on iTunes or Spotify. It's underground. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
Right. Yeah.
only you know about that joint. You know, the
Right.
world
Right.
ain't heard that joint like that.
Right. It's strong though. It's strong though. I think it'll work. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Even
Nah,
the joint you
fact,
said,
yeah.
the joint you did with Raheem. Like I know you said it's not the vibe you on right now, but that joint go
That
too.
joint
You know what
still
I'm
go though.
saying? Yeah. Yeah. But I definitely feel
I
it not
can't
being your
promote that
vibe
joint.
though.
It do go, but I can't. I ain't trying to promote that
Understood.
message, man.
Yeah.
Take home. You talking about taking a girl
Yeah.
Yeah.
home?
Yeah.
Calling them take home. Nah, I ain't putting out that message. You know what I'm saying?
Understood.
Not
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, and that's something like one of the things you was talking about, not really going with like the labels, because that was one of my questions. I know it was a time in your career where you was having conversations with the labels and stuff, but
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you pretty much answered it already about not taking that route, and that's a big part of it is they would have more
I wanted
of the
to back
decision.
then though.
Right, right,
Back then
right.
I wanted to.
But
It
now
was
you
at
see how
Rock
much it's a
Nation and
blessing it is,
Universal.
right?
Yeah, I see how they take advantage of youth. I was a kid back then. I was 22, 23, 24
Right,
in that era. You know what I'm saying? I was a kid. They take advantage of young, impressionable kids from the hood that ain't got nothing. They know they ain't got nothing. And then they try to offer all this and lights, glitz, and glam in your face and have us thinking we set for life. You know what I'm saying? Just sign your life away. You know what I mean?
right,
So
yeah,
they take advantage of us not being knowledgeable so young. You know what I'm saying?
right, yeah,
So that's why you see these rappers 18, 19, in their 20s. You know what I'm saying? Pac was 25 when he died.
right,
You know, but that's that vulnerable age that we in where we're not firmly embedded in truth. You know what I'm saying? Like
right,
like like the roots is in the tree is embedded in the ground. The wind can't knock the tree down. You know what I'm saying?
right, right, yeah,
But once the tree ain't got no root, it's like where the wind blows. You know what I'm saying? It's
it's
like
gonna
wherever
go.
the wind blows, that's where they gonna go. And
Yeah,
that's how it is
yeah,
today. You know what I'm saying? Down to wearing dresses and all that. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
Yeah.
yeah.
So
That's a whole
we gotta be
nother
deeply
topic.
rooted in knowledge, man, to stand firm on something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So I want to ask you the two main questions I usually ask most of our guests, and I'm really interested in hearing your answer about it. The first one is, there's a lot of people, especially in DC, but all over, people who have become fans of yours, and there's young people who look up to you, who want to follow that path, who want to get into
Mm.
hip hop and have that authenticity that you have, and it's not really into like the what's popular right now and everything, but just to have that depth and everything. What kind of advice would you give young artists coming up that's trying to not just follow in your footsteps, but make a mark in the world, in the music world?
Just man, share your knowledge, man, through your music, and make it fun. That's all I can say. You
Okay.
know, I look up the artists like man, or I look at artists like KRS-One and Rakim that I used to listen to. That dudes, you'd be like, man, X, man, listen to this right here, bro. You know what I'm saying? He used to be a dude that used to come through me and Wale job back in the day. His name was damn, forgot his name, man. Damn, he used to be bootlegging. He lived long front of Uptown. He used to be bootlegging DVDs and all that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he come through bootlegging DVDs and stuff like that. But and know we rapping and know what lane Wale was in, and he know what lane I was in. The conversations that we were having here. His name was True. That
Okay.
was his name, True. So he's always be giving me like, yo, X, listen to this right here. You know what I'm saying? I ain't, I had my own taste, but he like put me on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To make me listen to what the elders was listening to. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, oh, all right. You know what I'm saying? Which is why you have artists like Joey Badass and artists that's reminiscent to the old school. That's just like how I was too when you hear my music, because I had OGs, man, putting me on like, man, listen to this, man, Rakim, man. Listen to this KRS-One. Listen to this Roscos, Nature of the Threat.
Wow.
Listen to this Killer Priest, basic instructions before leaving Earth joint. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah. He took it back with the Roscos and the Killer Priest. Yeah. I
I'm
don't know.
saying like that's what y'all like built, and as you can see, like when I look at myself, it's like, damn, no, I'm that type of artist for now. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. So before I ask the last question, I want to see, was there anything else you guys wanted to ask?
Nah, I'm good. I think I got all my stuff out.
Okay.
I'm good too. I just want to say thank you for what you said about the queens and the representation of how we portray ourselves and how you portray us in your music. So I appreciate that and keep shining.
Oh, thank you, appreciate that.
Yeah, and the last question that I usually ask everybody is, if you had the opportunity, being the person you are right now, everything you've been through and all the wisdom that you've acquired throughout the years, if you could go back in time
Yeah.
and talk to 15-year-old Uptown XO, if you could have that if you could get in a time machine and go back and have a conversation when you catch him out on the block, you're like, hey, come here, let me talk to you. What would that conversation be like? What would you say to him?
I wouldn't say nothing to myself because that'd change probably who I am now to this day, right? But
Yeah.
I would do certain things around him that that made, or I would walk by him and say something, just so that it would be stuck in his head and ring a bell for the rest of his life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you would inception and plant the seed in his mind so he could.
Yeah. But I wouldn't interfere. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I was wild at 15 anyway. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Right.
For real. 15, 16, 17. Them was like I was a monster. Them was my monster years. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Coming down U Street to rock at what is it? Capital City Records, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Them days, man.
Yeah.
I was 16 going down that joint. That's how I met Odyssey and YU those guys, man. For real.
Yeah.
For real. But back in them days, I wasn't trying. No.
So you wouldn't have heard it anyway if you'd have said something to you, right?
Yeah, I wasn't even listening to my mother. I didn't have no authority. You know what I'm saying? And I'm helping my mother pay bills at that point too. So it's like I'm looking at her as she was an authority. I gave her that respect, but it was like we was equals at that point. You know what I'm saying? As I'm helping you pay bills. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, hey man, just on behalf of myself, Patrice and Jay, man, I want to thank you for coming through and chopping it up with us. I want you to take a moment to let everybody know again where they can find your music and where they can find you. So yeah, go ahead and do that.
Uptown XO underscore Elu on Instagram. Uptown XO on Twitter. Uptown XO on Facebook. That's my music page. You know what I'm saying? And uptownxo.com. Cultureovercorporate.com. Yeah. Make sure y'all check out the new album, Culture Over Corporate Volume 2, produced by Cat Brown. It's out right now. It's only 18 minutes long. You know what I'm saying? It's an EP for real. You know what I mean?
Right. I noticed you hit
make
them
sure
with
you check
only a
out the
few
first album
tracks.
too.
That's strategic, right?
Yeah, because we got some more music coming.
I thought I was gonna hit Duff on one of these new tracks, man.
You're gonna hear them, but
Okay.
that may be 2021.
Indeed.
You know what I'm saying? I got albums, I got chapters. You know what I'm saying? It is dope. So it's definitely gonna be included on some stuff. Yeah. So.
Yeah. So we gonna
That
work it
project is
out.
gonna be like, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna work it out next time to have you in the building so we can get some bars from you, man. We're gonna put on a beat, let you go crazy.
Just so you know, you got to come in live to do our podcast, XO.
Give me the end. Let me know when and where next time. You know what I'm saying?
We got you.
Let me know when and where. I don't think anybody let me know when and where to get.
That's the bet.
They said they're gonna let me do a few lines too.
Bars.
Sing a hook, maybe.
No. See,
I mean,
not lines. You about to do some coke in this joint. Let me do some lines too. No.
But yeah, man. Again, thank you so much for joining us today. I appreciate you. Coming through and talking to us. We definitely everybody get that Culture Over Corporate Volume 2 and Volume 1. Check out all this stuff. Like I said, top 5 level MC. One of the best out of the city, if not arguably the best lyricist, out of the city. One of the best I've ever heard, and we appreciate you, brother. Definitely, 100%.
Thank you, man. I appreciate y'all, man. 100%. Real.
I bet. So, on behalf of myself, Super Dave, aka Mr. Incredible,
Super
Patrice, Fruitfit Jones,
Fruitfit,
and Jay Son, DC's native son. This has been another episode of the Neighborish Livecast. Shout out to our special guest, Uptown XO. Y'all check us out next week. We'll be back with another great show, more great conversation, more great content. And have a great week.
Peace.